I did get into not an altercation, but some guy stole my taxi the other day. I was on Madison Avenue and I was like
That's
just
annoying.
running some errands and I was like, and I had hailed him. I made eye contact with the driver and he turned because I was like, you need to go this way at Madison. So he turned
Hmm.
as I was walking over. Some guy came across, cut in, was fully getting in the cab. I'm like, sir, excuse me, like that's my taxi. And he was
Yeah.
like, no, it's mine. I hailed it from over there. And I was like, I could just like keep going and like pushing, but I was like, I'm just gonna walk away. And before I walked away, I said, I hope you have the day you deserve. And that was it. Because, you know,
Dead.
that's not an inherently mean thing to say and it's not
No, that's
aggressive. It's
perfection.
just leaving it with you. Because I was like, you know what? I'm
Yes.
not going to carry this. This is you. Have the day you deserve. Handed it to him. And like, he probably got in that taxi and was like, what kind of day do I deserve? And started thinking about like how he was behaving and showing up in the world.
Welcome back to Graphic Content, the podcast where we talk all things who, why, and the what moments along the way. I'm your host, Gio, and what's on brand for me this week is booking a podcast with a style icon and subsequently stressing the out over what I was going to wear for days, and then defaulting to my go-to black.
It never fails. Black never fails.
Never fails. I've known it for 10 years. If you've ever wanted to meet someone who treats life like a runway, a mood board, and a manifestation ritual all at once, enter Citrine Cash, New York based drag queen, fashion designer, artist, strategist, and certified it girl. By day, Citrine helps brands cut through the noise with social strategy and content, and by night, she's designing looks, building worlds, and proving that glamour is both a philosophy and a practice. Please welcome to Graphic Content, Citrine Cash. Yes! Hello!
Hi.
I am obsessed with what you're wearing.
Thank you. I was thinking, like, what did I want to put on today?
Mm-hmm.
I almost did yellow because of like, I was like, let's be full, like, branded
On
with
brand.
it. But I feel like intuitively your lighting is like picking up on this, like, multicolor with like blue, turquoise. There's like a little bit of purple in here. I was like, let's just go full graphic, like 80s
I
vibe.
love it. So tell me, like, where did the inspo come from? Like when you were putting it together?
This is a piece that I've had for a while. Like I will make my looks and then they go into this like archive, which sounds
Mm-hmm.
really like fabulous and robust, but it's literally just a storage space like a few blocks from my apartment because I live in New York. So I just walk and I kind of was like intuitively going. I pulled out like three things. And then last night I was trying stuff on and I was like, this just like feels right. And I had styled the wig. So then I was
I love
like,
it.
I don't know. It's like yeah, I'm a late 80s baby, so I was kind of also too like let's give a nod to like when I was born.
What are you like 80, 88, 89, 87?
89.
Okay, so we're almost the same age. So
Yeah.
same era. I have to say the level of commitment for you to show up, it's 11:30 this morning to get in drag on a
Yeah.
Friday. I am beyond appreciative. This is like I'm loving
Normally drag queens are like of the night.
it.
Because of my business background,
Mhm.
I am the queen that is cross-dressing at 8 a.m. on a Friday morning,
Oh yeah.
showing up to the office, ready to go.
Tell me a little bit about that. Like are you doing day gigs? Like what do you mean? Or are you just like getting up and drag in the morning?
I'm saying right now for the podcast, I'm up cross-dressing at 11:40 a.m.
I'm obsessed.
But to be honest, some girls do cross dress at this hour, but they're coming home from the afters.
Fully.
Me, a businesswoman, I'm I'm on a different schedule. I'm in
I
bed by
mean, we've
10
all
at
been
night.
there.
Yeah,
It's been a hot minute since I've done that, where I've got home at noon, but
same, same. Sometime soon I will. I know it. I just know it.
I love it. So I want to give a little bit of backstory. So you and I know each other. It's been I want to say 4 years.
Maybe like five, maybe even 5 or 6 years.
It was definitely pandemic times. Like I think it was during COVID when we were, because
Okay.
I think that's when we worked together for that
Yeah, yeah,
summer.
yeah.
And I remember always being in these calls and working with the client. You were on client side.
Yes.
And I would sit there and I would always be like, who's this person? Like, doesn't look interested, like kind of sitting there, like
Oh,
no, 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 no. And I mean this in the best way. This like intrigue of who is this human being sitting on the other end? Just like, yeah, like whatever. Because the project we were working on
yes.
was crazy. Like it
Yes.
was
We can't
insane.
talk about it because of the NDA, but
Yeah,
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 it was a
literally.
mess. Like a
Hey,
literal mess, dumpster fire.
yes. And I
Yeah.
that's how we first connected that summer. And I remember it was like maybe I don't know if it was within the year or two later is when you started
Hmm.
doing drag. And I remember you posted about Citrine, and I was, even though like we really didn't know each other, I was like,
Yeah.
first, like as soon as I saw it, I was like, oh, I'm following
Yes.
every post I was liking, and I've been loving to see like the beginning days of when you publicly went as out
Hmm.
in drag to now and seeing that progress. It has been so amazing to see.
Thank you. It's a crazy journey. Like, truthfully, if like I've been doing it for 3 going on 4 years now,
Hmm.
the more you do it, it just like comes so second nature.
Yeah.
So it's just like the more you do it, the more comfortable you feel, the more your creativity expands, the more you're playing with different ideas. So I mean, it's been a blast, truthfully.
So what got you into it in the first place?
It was the pandemic, and
Hmm.
RuPaul reached through the television screen, and she said something on like whatever season that was of Drag Race at the time. Basically something to the effect of like, everything's crazy. If you're gonna do it, now is the time to do it. She was
Hmm.
talking like during a critique, and I was like, oh, okay, well, let's do it.
Yeah.
And with my like fashion background, social media, it was a very easy like to package the brand and figure it out. Like the name, it all came very like quickly. And I just like it was so second nature to me. And so locally, a lot of the girls are like, where did you come from? Like you just like popped up and you're like
Yeah.
very polished and very just like specific in your aesthetic. Like so it seemed like I popped up, but I've kind of been building everything you see for like my entire life.
I am obsessed. Like everything head to toe all the time, even out of drag, like on your TikTok or I just seeing
Yeah.
the way that you approach just life in general from an aesthetic. And it's not just aesthetic. Like you can tell that there's research in it. There's an understanding of history and pop culture. And as a designer, like working in my world, seeing somebody put so much effort and energy into their appearance is just like chef's kiss. Could I do it? I don't know. I'm starting to like adventure into, trying different colors and matching. Like the monochrome thing is like amazing. Like why was that a thing for you?
Monochrome was kind of like, it was weird because like up until 2016, I would wear all black. Like I was living in LA, I would just wear head to toe black. It was easy, it was a uniform. I was a stylist at the time.
Yeah.
So I kind of understood that like one color has power, and it's also just easy to get dressed when you're like, what am I wearing? I don't have time to like obsess over getting dressed. I need to get dressed and be seen. So the monochrome thing for Citrine, it was kind of like, what mood am I feeling? Like, what
Yeah.
is the thing? And how do I like become the color? Like, so I get really method with it. It's not like I'm just wearing the color. I will sometimes with a concept, I will start like a month ahead, and
I
I will
love
start
that.
like picking out candy and snacks that have that branding. I will start like looking at beauty products and fragrance that has that branding and fully become the color. So like I
I'm
will wear it out of
obsessed.
drag too. My phone case will be a certain color. So it's just like I'll start wearing everything head to toe one color, and it just like it helps me get into like the feeling and the emotion of it before the day of, where I then do the whole shellac on the outside.
It's so funny. People always say, like, you work in design, like, how do you not think about these things? And I think because I'm so consumed with creating for others, that's like my whole gig, that when it came to me, I would like whatever, just like you said, slap some black on and hit it, and to hear you talk about the thought and behind it, like it really is like artist level. It's not just like, oh, like I like it's like a cute look, you know what I mean? Like you're actually
Mhm.
putting in thought to it. So you touched on this a little bit. You talked about working in fashion and you've worked in photography, like social, and as now as a drag queen. And all of it from what you're saying has been very you, like you're very authentic to who you are. So for you, like when did you realize creativity wasn't just something that you did or like wasn't an output? It's more of how you like process your reality and your existence.
I think since I was like little, growing up as like a little queer kid, I grew up in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. You are faced with some adversity. And so it was a very early way for me to arm myself, but also before people could put whatever feelings they wanted on me as a little kid walking through the world with a little swish and a little limp wrist, I could decide what I wanted to present before they had their reaction to it.
Hmm.
So that's kind of when it started. Like fashion has always been an expression for me because, like growing up and being bullied, I kind of went like a little bit insular. You
Yeah.
wouldn't like know it now, but I would go inside and my creativity was like writing, poetry, art, things that like kept me silent. So I would use fashion as the way to like express without having to be like loud or take up space.
Hmm. And so, what was that transition like for you when you started to do that? Like, how did you feel yourself change in the world?
Well, fashion immediately asserts power, and not maybe fashion's the wrong word, style and like the
Hmm.
way you package yourself and present,
Yes.
it immediately commands respect. So if you are put together and like, hey, I have days where I'm like, it's a sweatpant day and like, it's cute, whatever. When you walk into a room and you like look good, people immediately are like, oh, they're like a serious person.
Yeah.
So I could do that first and then professionally build myself up to figure out how the what I brought to the table matched the exterior. So it was almost like a self-actualization
I
ritual.
love that. The last like year, maybe two, I'm actually starting to, I think it's more self-esteem too, where I'm
Hmm.
now getting to a point where, you know, I have this one body and I want to kind of match what I'm starting to feel within myself of where I'm going, in my career as a human being, like this evolution I'm taking in this life and adorn it in a way that matches what I'm feeling internally. And I'm noticing that there is a different what's the word response that I get from people. Like this, literally 2 days ago, had a doctor's appointment, and I just threw together. I'm also in a very monochromatic era. Like so, right now I'm really into green. Like I just love green,
I
even though it's
just redid our
winter.
bedroom and there's like green art. It's like, yeah, green is the color.
I love it. Like I'm wearing like yes, yes,
And not
exactly.
just like cash, but like abundance, like
Yes.
greenery, like lush. Yeah,
You
green.
are speaking my language. Even going through
Hmm.
your intake form, I was like, I feel like we could hang out in person if we were in the same city because the way that you speak about your approach to life is so on the money, no pun intended, of how I am trying to be right now
Yeah.
and what I'm trying to envision. Because I'm like, the world is crumbling, but we don't have to live in scarcity. And anyway, so it's all about mindset. But
No, we're
to,
gonna be hot and we're gonna be abundant. I don't want to say rich because it's like such a like negative connotation right now with like
abundant is the
billionaires.
word.
We're gonna be abundant
No,
and we're
true.
gonna make abundance within ourselves and the world around us. And
Hmm.
yeah.
I agree. But I just want to say 2 days ago I had an appointment. So I walk in and I just slapped it together. Like based on what I've started to think about, jackets and pants and all these things that how they go together. Anyone listening is probably like, Gio, what the fuck? Like you're almost 40 and you're just thinking about this now. And I'm sitting there. And so the doctor's going over, she's like talking to me about what we're there to talk about.
Mhm.
And then she literally stops. She has these big like funky glasses on and she like does like the over the rim, like looks at me and she kind of does this. She goes, I like your glasses. And I was like, oh, thank you. And then she like stops and she goes, okay, so anyway, and then she stops and she looks at me again and she goes, I like your outfit. You're really put together. I was all like, and I go, I'm like the fucking doctor's clock again. I felt like part of me felt
Yeah.
so like, ooh.
But also think of it too like you're bringing color to their world too,
Hmm.
because they're gonna like go home and be like, that was fun, just to like acknowledge and like have that exchange. And like, it's great. I was
Yeah.
on the stoop like outside a few weeks ago with a friend and we were just like catching up. And this woman walked past and I was wearing like all red at the time. And she like sarcastically was like, you should try and wear a brighter color tomorrow, like as a like joke. And I was like, she sees it, she clocks it, she
Yes,
understands it, and like that is what it's about.
I
So
love it. So you talked a little bit about different career paths that you've taken or that you've been in up to this point,
sorry, can
and
you hear that? There's like there's a car honking.
I
Or
can,
no,
but we can wait a minute.
it's New York. Do you hear how they're crazy they're going? It's probably
It's
because the
okay.
like street cleaner or something.
Honestly, it happens. I that
All
level
right,
of
it's done. It's
anger
the street
is
cleaner. I can hear it.
crazy.
People need therapy.
Yes,
Collectively, people need to get it out of their bodies, because that's what's not happening. That person is laying on the horn because they can't get whatever's frustrating them out of themselves. Thank you.
100%. Anytime I'm in a vehicle with somebody who has road rage, I go, "What was
Scary.
that for? Why?
Scary.
Why are you
It's too
letting
dangerous. You can't do that now. You
it?"
can't.
It's so
Too dangerous.
crazy. The level of anger, I go, "Why are you going to let someone who just cut you off ruin your afternoon? That's insane.
Yes.
You're giving them so much power."
I did get into, not an altercation, but some guy stole my taxi the other day. I was on Madison Avenue and I was like
That's
just
annoying.
running some errands, and I was like, and I had hailed him. I made eye contact with the driver, and he turned because I was like, you need to go this way on Madison. So he turned
Mhm.
as I was walking over. Some guy came across, cut in, was fully getting in the cab. I'm like, sir, excuse me, like that's my taxi. And he was
Yeah.
like, no, it's mine. I hailed it from over there. And I was like, I could just like keep going and like pushing, but I was like, I'm just gonna walk away. And before I walked away, I said, I hope you have the day you deserve. And that was it. Because, you know,
Dead.
that's not an inherently mean thing to say, and it's not
No, that's
aggressive. It's
perfection.
just leaving it with you, because I was like, you know what? I'm
Yes.
not going to carry this. This is you. Have the day you deserve. Handed it to him, and like he probably got in that taxi and was like, what kind of day do I deserve? And started thinking about like how he was behaving and showing up in the world. And yeah.
I'm stealing that. That's an iconic line. Like I that is perfection. I hope you have
It's
that's the
so
name of
open
this
ended.
episode.
It's so open ended because also too like it was a misunderstanding. It could have been his taxi. Like it's New York. It doesn't belong to me. So in my mind, I was like, what could I say that's gonna like make him think, as opposed to like just being like, "Arr," which a lot of people are just
Everyone's on edge,
aggressive
which
now.
I listen, I
Rightfully
get it.
so.
I get
Rightfully
it. I
so.
get it. But I think that the greater storyline behind that is like you guys are missing the point. Like I
Hmm.
think that if we are the infighting just amongst us, like, plebes, if we want to call
We're we're
exactly
we're all pointing at each other, and while we're doing that, the people who are actually causing all the problems are just like hee 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 ha ha ha, and we're just
fully.
like, you're the problem. You're the problem.
Yeah, and that's the thing, like, I don't understand the I understand, like, times like these are when I genuinely believe the Matrix is real. Like, we
Yes.
we live in this fucked up fake, like, play movie,
It's all
and
constructed.
it's all constructed, and people, they believe it. Like, they're, "I'm not an actor, I'm real," and I'm like, "No, you're not. None of this matters." Like, what the it's so crazy. But,
The
anyway.
fastest way to deconstruct that and get out of the matrix is to cross dress. The second you start playing with gender, you realize, ooh, a lot of this is all just made up
Make believe.
and told of like, this is what men do, this is what women do, these are the boxes you need to fit in. The second you start like pull that thread, it like all unravels very quickly.
Oh, I
So I
love
would
it.
encourage anyone to try it.
Ding. So, speaking of trying things, you have described your life and your career as like a series of pivots, very nonlinear, very intuitive, which I love this language that you're using. So, have you ever tried to force like a straight line where you're like, this is what I'm supposed to do? Or have you always been allergic to that idea of like, I'm not doing the status quo bull?
I tend, just like by nature, I tend to be a very like forceful person. So if I set my mind, I will try my hardest. But
Hmm.
there are often moments where I realize I'm swimming upstream, and immediately I take it as a cue of like, all right, you've done all these steps that you plan in your head, and it didn't pan out the way you thought it was going to.
Hmm.
It's time to turn.
Hmm.
So yeah, it's always kind of that way. Same with like work, with client stuff. It's like it's not always about like the path of least resistance, but it's like what is naturally unfolding here,
Yeah.
rather than say like this is the idea I have for this campaign or this project. what unfolds and reveals itself, because it's going to
Mm,
be 10 times more joyful if you're creating from a place of like drawing it in as opposed
mhm.
to like pushing. It's just going to, it's, you're going to be able to tell in the work,
Oh,
I think.
100%. Even you saying you watching that episode of Drag Race where Rue was like, just go for it.
Yeah.
Just do the thing. That was, and anyone who listens to this show knows I say this almost every week, but it's true. Like to me, the last year and a half has been this I'm going to stop fighting myself moment, and I'm going to actually feel what's going on around me and not force things that don't make sense, and also let things that are not serving me fall by the wayside, whether it's exactly whether clients, projects. I'm saying no to things. That has been the
Mm-hmm.
most freeing
Same.
thing.
It
I
feels
love
so
it.
good. It's very uncomfortable though. If you're like a person that wants to immediately,
Hmm.
I struggle with people pleasing, so I'm always just like, how can I like fix something or make people happy? But I've been saying no a lot in the early part of the year, and I'm like, it feels so uncomfortable. But then like when people don't question it, you're just like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
like I'm off the hook.
Yeah.
Like it's great.
It's the best, honestly. Like I don't at this point, even like socially, like whatever. I, there's some friends who I never see anymore because like they're like I just don't do as much as I used to because I'm also in like
Mm-hmm.
build mode where with my business like restructuring a couple things like and it's all me, right? Like I don't have a team, so I'm at this point now where, and this as a singular creative, you got to do everything,
Yeah,
and it's all on us, right?
yeah, it's true. I think it's about saying no, but then fully committing to the things you say yes to. Another
100%.
thing, because I also think too right now we're at a time where there's this room for, I don't want to say flakiness, like there's a lot going on, but I've noticed it socially. Like there's this ease with which like we'll make plans with friends or for work, and like then the time comes and we like don't honor that, and we're like,
Mhm.
oh well, like next week or whatever. This year I'm literally like, if I make a plan, I'm following through with it and we're like finishing it.
Yeah, 100%. I lived in Toronto for almost 10 years. I will say gays, queers, big city, flake central. Like
Flaky.
it's so bad. There'd be so many times or day of I wouldn't even hear from them. I'm like, because that's probably like, oh, if I don't acknowledge, and I'm like, what are we doing? Like, why? Just say like,
Yes.
hey, let's meet another time.
We're at a point that we might not have another time. So that's why I'm like, if I agree to it, it's also too like a self assessment, because we all get excited about things. So we're all like, oh yeah, that sounds so fun. Like, let's
Hmm.
go to that party or that dinner or that brand event. Like, it sounds so fun. And then it gets to the day of and you're like, oh, I don't really want to. It's having self-awareness at the beginning too, to say like, hey listen, in 2 weeks, you know yourself, are you going to want to do this? Are you
Yeah.
going to want to like have this on your plate, whether it's a project, event, social, whatever? It's about being better and like having the vision to see what's going to be ahead.
Have you always been this way where you kind of see life like, or is this something that like kind of came out later in life?
See life, how so?
Like from a more conscious standpoint, like just in like I said, like in the way that you speak, like where did that come in? Because I have my own
it's
story, but I want to hear.
definitely it's definitely like unfolded over time for sure,
Hmm.
because I think when you're like, I don't think it's necessarily an age thing, but I think inherently like maturing leads you to a lot of realizations about life and yourself and the way you are. And so I think it's like unfolded, because even still I get into like the low version of me versus the high version of me. The low version is like a little anxious. I can be a little irritable. Like, so I still go into those moments, but it's being more sacred about like examining like, hey, why are you acting like that, and like what is the way that you need to resolve it, because it's not really other people. Like, you have to take responsibility for yourself. So I think a lot of it has been like taking responsibility for myself and what I want in life, and yeah, just like getting older and maturing and being like, all right, you thought it was going to be this way and like it's a little different, so like what works for you? Like with drag, I'm kind of like, I took a hiatus and I'm just very much like reassessing like what does this mean to me? We're sold this like output kind of thing, like where it's like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, you do drag, you do it locally, you perform a lot, then you go on Drag Race, then you're famous, then you make a
Yes.
career out of it, then you get brand deals, then you do all these things. But if you can't get to Drag Race, your career shouldn't be like any less, your career and your art shouldn't be any less valid.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm at a point now where it's like that might happen for me one day. It might be something else, but I'm just kind of like creating my own little heat and spotlight. And like when people find it, they'll find it. And that's kind of just like, it's really freeing because then you're like, I'm not begging for this acceptance or these accolades. I'm kind of just like doing it. And like,
Yeah.
it feels so much better.
I agree 100%. I'm in the same boat where I've always been somebody who I'm I don't want to be like pick me, like I want to fit this thing. I'm like, let me build it myself. I'd rather do it if it takes longer. At least I'm sticking to my guns and I'm feeling that authenticity in what I'm doing. I'm not like I don't know, like even trying to look for work. I haven't done it in forever, but it's that thing of I don't want to have to go out there and be like, please, like that Rue,
Mm-hmm.
pick me, please. Like
Yeah, no, literally.
I don't want to do that. I'm like, I'd rather build my own and then be like, I did this and this feels right for me.
At the end of last year, I was kind of like, all right, all the things I was pushing for, the universe didn't want it to be my time or it didn't want
Mm-hmm.
to line up. So, like, all right, like, the script I had isn't panning out. So, like, universe, whatever, higher power you believe in,
Mm-hmm.
it's your turn. You show me how good it can be, and like, it's on you. And I'm just gonna keep doing my thing, looking fabulous, making clothes, like, feeling inspired, living, breathing, being like vibrant in this world, and like
Mm-hmm.
whatever shows up, and that's what's meant for me.
What's the last thing you made?
Oh gosh, I haven't made something in so long. I like literally haven't been sewing. I was painting this summer. That was my new thing. I don't know. Like I was just like I just like wanted a big canvas and a lot of paint, and I was like at a friend's house outside of the city, and I was like I just want to do this, and it was so meditative and therapeutic, and I didn't even
Mm-hmm.
know what I was going to paint. That's the thing. Like I was just like I just had the colors I wanted, and I was just
Mm-hmm.
like and it just kind of came to me. So that was the last thing. My paintings.
What did you end up painting?
I did a large green canvas for our bedroom, which is it's like trees. So it's like an abstract of trees. But then I got into this like rose thing. I love roses. I don't know why. I just think they're such like a beautiful flower.
Mm-hmm.
And my grandmother like grew roses when we were younger. I never met her because she passed before we were born. But there was this like this energy around roses. So I just like love them. And I think nature has like a beautiful way of showing us like when something is no longer serving your beauty, like let those petals drop off.
Yeah.
So I started painting roses. Like so I have
I
like
love it.
I have like the one nature tree thing, and then it was like just roses all summer. So I did like I think maybe like 5 canvases.
I love hearing you say it because I'm
And I was
getting
just
back
like,
into painting.
I love painting.
Mm-hmm.
I love I mean, eventually like there was moments too where I was like, this could have a rhinestone on it. This could be fabric. This could be a dress. Like, it's like
Yes.
there was no intention. I really was just kind of creating, like, no plan on output, no plan on posting anything. It was just like, what do I make when it's just for me and the people I love?
It's like a download. I
Hmm.
genuinely believe that where old me would have overthought it, like I have to plan this thing and make it perfect, and especially because that's my whole like working in branding, like it's all strategy. You're
Yeah.
working and you're planning and it's all there's a lot of research that goes into it. And so now I'm at a point once again, getting older, you're connecting to what's important, what isn't, letting things go. When anytime I sit down to paint, I'm like, just start. Don't
Hmm.
judge, don't overthink it, just see what happens. And I'm usually like really happy with the outcome. It's funny that you mentioned I wasn't ignoring you, I was just getting my phone. So today's Friday, 2 nights ago, my cousin came over and we had a paint night. And so she worked on her painting and I worked on mine and I was
I love
painting.
that.
It's not done, but
Wow. Oh my
like
gosh.
it's coming along.
What's
But
what is the size? Is it
it's I
small?
think it's 12. I think it's like 12 or 14 by 14, something like that.
Okay, I will challenge you if you have the space, do something large scale because then it integrates like a very physical element where you're
Focus here.
like body is kind of
Mm.
integrated into it. So you're like, it's almost as if it's like not muscle memory, but like I felt meditative in that it suspended my brain. Like I literally was not thinking.
Mhm.
My hands were just moving and I was like grabbing color. So like you should try large scale as well.
I
In the
will.
summer when it's
I
warmer, you could go outside.
Yes. So with all the things that you've done, have you ever felt any pressure to like pick a lane? Like I think I know what the answer is going to be,
Ugh,
but
no, I hate that. I hate that. Even like when I started doing drag, it's like the world and like the queer community does it too. Like no one is immune from it.
no.
We inherently aspire to compartmentalize and put people in boxes. So I just like I hate the like the definitive like this is me, this is that. I think it's limiting
Mhm.
and not that it helps everyone to control you, but like if people have an idea of what you are and what you do, it helps like it can cut you off from them imagining you in any other way, which is kind of like reductive for
Yeah.
humans. Like we're here for if we're lucky a long time. There's so many versions and skins you can have and shed. Like I am like 100% committed to being a shapeshifter. Like whenever I run the course with drag, if that happens, might be 82 at the nursing home, like cross dressing. I think that would be so fabulous.
Sick. I love it.
But if it runs its course and I let it go, like there will be some other form of myself that takes hold. So it's like you have to keep changing. And I think if you like sometimes I like have these moments where I'm like, if I commit to one thing, I could have had like maybe a more prolific career. But then I like think about that and I'm like, who cares? Like
Yeah.
I just get so bored. So like I'm just like, no, next thing, like we tried it, we climbed that mountain, like we've done it, like it's not working. Like let's go.
But even if it's not working, there's validity in having the experience. Like I don't think that
100%.
yeah. Like
And like
I
looking back on like my styling career and all of those things, like I don't do it now because it's like a schlep and you have to like get all of these things, but it informs my drag. And then I'll
Mhm.
have flashbacks to like, oh my God, remember that time you were at Fashion Week with Naomi Campbell? Like you'll do these things and you're like, it takes you to places and like it might not be something that you can like have tangibly to like hold on to, but it's still something that informs your being and your like the atoms in your body. So
100%. I look back at some of the gigs I did, like when I got out of school, I was obsessed with editorial. I was like, I want to work for a magazine. Okay, what are we doing? Especially as print is dying, eh,
dying.
dying, but it informs, what I do today. I remember years ago, I think it was like 2012, I did a collab with a designer, Sunny Fong in Toronto, and like
Hmm.
saw my textiles on Toronto Fashion Week on
Yeah,
malls, and I was 24 years old, and I was like, that to me something that I never thought I could do. Haven't done it since, but there's a part of me that's like, I want to bring that back, like that more creative expression, that those types of collaborations and partnerships, because it's something that when you pivot to like branding, because that's more like to me as a entrepreneur, I was like, oh, I'm gonna do branding. That's something I can actually make money off of. I can
hmm,
work. And now there's a part of me that's like that really creative artistic side of me has been like itching to get out. Now I'm at a point now where I'm like, okay, we need to honor the little Geo that existed, who was the teenager, the child, the person in their 20s who, out of fear moved into this direction career wise. And now I'm like, okay, let's bring it back.
I think what I've realized there's a 9 to 5 and then there's your 5 to 9. And
Hmm.
like the 9 to 5 can pay the bills or fund the 5 to 9, but you have to make time for the things that don't make you famous, don't get you paid sometimes, but
Hmm.
that just like feed your soul because
Yes.
then it helps you do what we have to do as adults, which is like the branding and the like the business of it all, which like
Play the
it's not a
game.
bad, it's still like it's still you still do cool things, but it's
Yeah.
just a different, side of the brain.
It's a different output. And that's
Yeah.
the thing. I'm like, who was I talking to? I think it was somebody on a previous episode who had said, if you, I don't want to fuck this up. It was like, if you would do it for free, then that's something that if you would do it for free, like do it.
Hmm.
I'm really butchering
Yeah.
it, but it's like very that like this. I don't make money off this. I have people who are like,
I
you're
lose
doing
money
the
on this.
yeah.
Like this is a net zero, net negative. We're in the red with this. So like, but it's still fun. Like I'm just like, why the hell not? I work hard to make the money, so why don't I spend it?
Yeah, and you
You
spend it
know?
so perfectly. I'm
I
sorry.
spend I spend, I spend it well. I
You
do.
do spend it well. So, like, okay, talk to me a little bit about Citrine. Like this expression, we've talked a
Hmm.
lot about expression in all different types of creative. Like I said, from day one, like I said, we didn't know each other from we worked together for a couple months, but seeing the output just right away, I was like, yes, like this is something that I love to see. So, what is it about this medium that you're like, I'm doing this, like I'm gonna express myself in this way?
I think it was like I spent a lot of my professional career doing what I do for Citrine for other people. So I was
Mm,
like making other people look good for the red carpet. I was making other brands visible on social media. It came to a point where I was like, why am I doing this for just everyone else when I have the tools I could do it for me and get to be the vessel? Because like
mhm.
it's fun to like be able to be like, oh, like that's my client. She wore this dress, or oh, we did this campaign and it was really cool and everyone saw it and created a lot of buzz, but when you embody it, it's like it's a whole different level. Like it's transcendent. Like you're like it like you're like it's so hard to explain, but yeah, it's like out of body almost. You're just like it like takes you along.
Oh yeah. I'm not just saying this to say this because we're talking, like genuinely, so much of you talking about your trajectory, I can apply it to myself where, I've been working so much on
Hmm.
clients, building their businesses, building their brands, helping them expand and grow and have success. And I've not done it for myself to the point where like this year I'm like, let me start looking inwards. It's like, what do I need to do for Geographic, the company,
Hmm.
and express it that way and do the work and put it towards myself. And it has been the most galvanizing chapter of my life where once again all these things that I've learned and picked up over the years, I'm now not being afraid to do it for myself and seeing, it's and I don't see it yet. It's in that I'm in the building phase, but it's the feeling, like we said, that I'm feeling some momentum building and I'm like,
Hmm.
right, like finally.
Now you're like we're like we've planted the seeds. I think
Yeah.
the seeds plant everyone planted seeds like end of last year. Now we're like tending the soil and making sure
Hmm.
that there's like something that's going to blossom in the spring. So like yeah, it is an amazing feeling.
And it's all about trust. I think like really trusting where you're
Yeah.
going, that is a big factor in I think whatever success is to you.
Yeah.
In your intake form, you mentioned a little bit about like fame, right? And like that game, the game
Hmm.
of fame. And so for you, like what fascinates you more? Like the system around fame or like because it's a game.
The manufacturing, like the assembly line.
Yes.
So I grew up in Pittsburgh, so like one of my early references was Andy Warhol, a world-renowned artist, obviously, but he dealt a lot with ideology around fame and everyone's going to be famous at some point, which like he really did predict everyone's
Yeah.
going to be famous. People are talking a lot about like pattern recognition within culture. That works for fame as well and celebrities. Like if you look at Sabrina Carpenter, she pulls references from Marilyn Monroe, a little bit Madonna. Dua
Hmm.
Lipa pulls references from Cher. And before our existence, there's probably someone who influenced Cher, who influenced Marilyn. There are these archetypes within the world that I think are really interesting, probably with men too, but I think with women especially, like femininity, how it's packaged and sold and consumed. I just think it's fascinating. And I think like America doesn't have a lot of great things to show for itself right now, but I do think our main export is celebrity and fame. Like it's when I
Oh
think
yeah.
of America, like the things we create, it is like celebrity for good or bad too. You know what I mean? Like
Hmm.
with visibility comes responsibility, and not everyone really does great things with it all the time. But I think the ideas of celebrity can be applied to everyone,
Oh
and
yeah.
whether that's like you actually being famous or you just being someone within your small ecosystem and showing up with integrity and focus and being able to like hold attention and lead people, I think like there are benefits to that too.
And like it's so over, like, the everyone being famous, it's so oversaturated. There's so many.
So oversaturated. Everyone's famous. Everyone's someone. Everyone has a million followers. And fame is fickle. Like it's
So
again,
fickle.
it's this approval thing where it's like you're famous as long as the powers that be or the general public decide. So it's like at a
Hmm.
certain point that will go away. What's left or what exists under that, you have to be like very careful. So I also think like, I mean, I lived in LA for a little bit, so I see the like there is something very like sinister about Hollywood. And like, there it's just you go to Los Angeles and you're just like, oh, this is like a little spooky. Like something is spooky here. But I still think it's like, especially as the world gets crazier, like visibility is a tool and an asset. If you're a
Yeah.
visible person, you can elicit change at a large scale.
Hmm. So with you, you've talked about a lot of where you pull from, like your inspiration, etc.
Hmm.
And one of the things that I really liked in your intake form was that you talked about references and research. And
Love a reference. Like
and there's
love,
so
love, love a
many.
reference. There's a lot of drag queens, and I tell like younger queens, like I've only been doing it 4 years, so I'm young technically, but I have more professional experience. You need to have references
Hmm.
because the ingredients have already been created. They all exist.
Yeah.
Fashion, style, pop culture, it's all already out there. What you can do, and like the easiest way, is to find what resonates with you, mix it up in your own way, make it special, and like find your formula. I love a reference. A lot of girls are just out here in bikinis looking hot, which is like, go off, diva. But I love a reference. Like pulling mood boards together, I'm like, it's
So you're putting mood boards together for
Oh, whole
everything?
concepts. Yeah. Well, I mean, if I have like a look that's like an archive, I'm not like doing a mood board for this, but like
Hmm.
the references are already like percolating in my head. So like I've seen this makeup, this 80s makeup
I love it.
somewhere before. I've seen this hair somewhere before. Not exactly, but I get the like energy behind it. I will spend like hours on this site called Cosmos, which is one of my favorites.
Hmm.
It's like I would say it's a more curated version of Pinterest. So can get all references, search keywords and like what you're looking for, but
Cosmos? I gotta write that down.
cosmos.so is the website.
Okay.
It's just so elevated and like refined and like not everything has to be like elegant, but for me, I want everything to be elegant. So like I don't have like junky images. It's my favorite website. And I'll spend like hours, like a Sunday, like I'll just be like, all right, we're gonna like pull references and I might save it for later or whatever, but I think it's really important. Film, music, it's all out there.
That is one of my favorite things working on a brand or a brand refresh. Like yesterday, people would say, like, use AI. I'm like, absolutely not. I,
No.
I will not.
Spooky.
Ookie spooky. I use it
Yeah.
for structural things as far as like helping me like reword,
Yes.
like that's more my how I use it. Creatively, I never ever use it for that because I just don't want to disconnect myself from what I'm doing in that way. And I love putting together a mood board. And right after this, actually, I'm presenting mood boards to a client for a brand refresh. All three of them, I'm like, I usually present three. I'll do like a mild, a medium, and a spicy, because there's
Hmm.
that like, okay, this is safe. This is where the sweet spot where I want you to pick, and then here's
And
something
here's if we
that's
go full tilt.
full tilt
Yeah.
boogie, like where it's like
Yep.
super bold, which is very like my energy when it comes to like design. But it's so fun for me to put it together because I look at so many references. There's everything from, we're looking at typography, we're looking at color, we're looking at texture, we're looking at like even just client photography, because a lot of them, if we're doing it for solo entrepreneurs, we're doing headshots. And I'm like, and now I've been sending clients to in Toronto to a specific photographer because he does a lot of the queens, the especially the Canadian
Hmm.
girls. And for like my corporate clients, I'm like, go to him. Like, he's for something different if you want to stand out. And I just love the putting it together. And so mood boards to me, that is like Bible.
Because then it also like sets the tone. It's not
Hmm.
necessarily like we're gonna copy this, but it sets the tone of like the energy and the
Yeah.
vibe. And then we bring our special secret sauce to it and make it real for a brand in a new way.
Hmm.
I think it's the best.
So for you, is it more of an instinct that you go with, or like, is it from digging that you're like, oh, I found all this now, this is inspiring me?
It's instinct. It's like
It's me.
it's instinct because it's like I'll be like Valentine's Day is coming up and I'll get really like cerebral and intellectual with it. And it's like, I mean, I go like rabbit hole. Like I'm like looking at like love letters and like just like there's so many levels to it, especially because it's like the end product is like a visual
Hmm.
format. But I just like kind of follow my intuition and like what I'm curious about. So if I come
Hmm.
across something and I'm like, oh, like what is that? I'll like do a little Wikipedia search and be like, wait, that's like this fascinating thing. And then I'll like dig deeper in that. And like, you just have to be curious. Yeah.
And that's the thing. I think with technology, like that really does kill our curiosity. But I love to hear that you're like, no, no, this is a tool that I'm going to use.
100%.
Hmm.
Yeah. Because it's like, I'll search something like broad terms and then it will lead me to another thing. And I'm almost following like breadcrumbs to like build out my idea. And there's no really right or wrong answer. It's more of just like what is exciting to me and what is fun, and I just sort of like follow that lead. I need to
So
send you like my Cosmos page after this, and you'll be
please, oh
like,
my God,
you're probably gonna
please.
be like, you're gonna love it. Yeah, you're gonna love it. It just reiterates sort of like my vibe and my
Hmm.
ethos, but you're also gonna see the quality of content that is available on Cosmos, and you're gonna be like, we're gonna lose you for a couple hours after. After you
No.
like poke around a little bit, you're gonna be like, this is so fun. Pinterest is fun, but it's just like there's so much like random stuff and sometimes it's a little basic. And I think when you're doing, especially like our world, like branding creative,
Hmm.
you have to be looking at like stuff from that world, I think. Like I'm gonna look at like a Sony ad from 1990 to like see the colors of the product and like the branding they use. Like I want all of those things, and it's like maybe from that I'm just pulling a color combination of like Y2K orange and gray, like platinum. Like it's like it just gets you somewhere that like you might not have gotten to just by like thinking.
No, 100%. I even pay attention to the like keywords that I'm using and what they pull up in my searches, and just switching just how the order in which I use the search,
Interesting.
and how that brings up different results. And that in itself has been a game changer because now I'm starting to think about, okay, how do I game the systems, and so to speak,
Hmm.
and when it comes to search. And obviously there's algorithms, and that's going to happen. It makes sense. Once you click on one thing, it shows you a million of the same, right?
Yes. I know I said I was only painting this summer. I've been doing resin jewelry. You'll
Love
love this because
that.
it's brand focused. When I go to hotels, I will take every branded thing from the hotel. Like I'm talking like slippers. I sound a little bit like a klepto. Slippers,
I know
like
klepto very well, so don't worry.
laundry bags, the stationery. Like I'll go to, I think Sunset Tower was like my last one. Sunset Tower, I'll get the notepad, I'll get the pen, I'll get the laundry bag, I'll get all of the things. I'll get the stickers that they put on the toilet paper, the gold branded stickers.
Uh-huh.
And I've put them in resin. So now they're jewelry pendants. So I'm like
That is
starting to
excellent.
build jewelry pieces that are like repurposing these places I've been. And it's like, who's going to keep like a notepad you can write on, but like, who is going to keep these things in a way that's like actually used and just doesn't end up in the trash? So, like, for instance, the laundry bag, I will like
Mhm.
cut them up and repurpose into like pouches for like my shoes or like to cover my
Obsessed.
handbags just so that it's like these things live on. I'm like very much to like not about wasting. Drag can
Yeah.
be very wasteful and very like bad for the environment. So in my mind I'm like, how are we like not just like tossing all of these like sequins and feathers out when we're done with them?
There's so much that I have in, you can't see it, but there's this closet that I'm sitting next to of things that I've held on to in my storage unit upstairs of, I'm going to use this one day. there's
Yes.
something that I have a purpose for, and because I've been living in such a small space for the last 5 years, I haven't
It's
ha
so impossible to access it. I
it's
struggle with
so
this too,
hard.
because I love to sew, but like in order to sew, I have to like take my sewing machine down and like to your point, like I will save like I love to like immortalize like special moments too, not just like the hotel thing. Like if I have a bottle of champagne with a friend, I'll take the gold foil off of that and like that becomes like an earring pendant or a brooch because in my mind those are the things that matter, not the like expensive handbags or the designer
Mhm,
shoes. It's like, what are these things that remind me of like a lived experience that is the most glamorous part of the whole thing? You know, it's not the labels, it's not the flash. It's like, what is the life and like the glamour that exists IRL and can be attained like every day. But yeah, to your point, like I have bags of like ribbon, little like champagne corks. It's almost like micro hoarding. I like need to actually like
yeah.
sew it and or put it into something. But I just know one day there's a moment that I'm like, this is gonna be something, and I'm gonna like every time I touch it or look at it, I'm gonna remember a time with a friend or a night out or a gift or something that's like would just end up like in a landfill.
Oh, 100%. There was a period in my life where back when I would go out more,
Hmm.
and I kept so much when I lived in Toronto, I had so much stuff that I'd collected, and I would just keep it in this bin that I had. It was like this drawers with a bunch of like art supplies, paints, paper, like everything under the sun that you could think of. And at Halloween, I my version of going out was I would always do like some form of like a club kid look. Like that was
Hmm.
my version of, getting dressed up. And I would love the month leading up to always around Halloween. That was my go-to. I would just sit night after night and just build out these like crazy masks. Like I made this headpiece that was, like a fake flowers, and I would
Hmm.
cut all the petals off, and then I glued them one by one so it looked like scales, and
Love.
they're like little tiny ones. And then I would make sure that the gradient was like from like a pink to an orange. It was like a whole thing.
Wow.
I love making. Like I think
Me
that
too.
is it's just such a good, I don't know, like that, like you said, when you're like in a meditation, like in that state, like I definitely feel that when I'm just creating to create.
We have to use our hands more too. Like we're so screens, digital, we're like
Hmm.
constantly like tapping around. There is something therapeutic about doing things with your hands and just
Hmm.
like doing that thing, whether it's cooking, gardening, painting, sewing, like whatever it is very healing and grounding to
Hmm.
the human body.
The trajectory you've been on has gotten you to this point. And one of the things that you had mentioned in your intake form was talking about this call to expansion, whether it's physically, energetically, creatively. For you, like, what does that look like in your life when you talk about like expansion?
The most like prevalent is the physical space. Like we talked
Hmm.
about it earlier, like living in a condo or an apartment, it is creatively limiting. Like
It is.
in larger cities, you just don't have access to like the creative spaces that like artists used to. Like, you know, I can't go to Soho and get a loft and like have space to paint. So I have to find it where I can right now. That would probably be like the biggest one. And then I
Hmm.
think I'm big getting into this here. I'm big on like, I don't not that I don't want to make excuses, but I don't want to say that I can't do something until I have blank. So I don't want to walk around being like, well, once I have a big house, then I can paint. No, I'm
Hmm.
like very much like, how do I expand? I can expand mentally, limitless.
Hmm.
How do I find that breathing room physically for the time being? So it's like having a storage unit that allows me, like, it's my like Barbie closet where I just go
Yeah.
and all my little fashion and stuff is there. So it's like that works for me right now. Like finding the ways to expand until like your target is achieved.
How are you finding that in your life when you're, living through it? Because sometimes it's hard,
It's challenging
it's challenging when you're in
because
it.
I get like cranky. Like I'm like even yesterday, like I went and like got those looks and I like had to drag them back. And like it's 3 blocks, but like that is is heavy. Like
Yeah.
clothes are heavy. And I got back and I was like, this just doesn't feel like that doesn't feel glamorous. Like
Mhm.
what diva is like lugging her across the avenues in New York City? But then it's like I think when I feel the physical constraints, it's like I am called to go inward.
Mhm.
It's either like meditating or I do somatic therapy. So it's a lot of like getting emotions out of your body. So if you're angry, you're like punching a pillow. You're getting the the energy out of your hands. So when I'm feeling constrained, which actually feels really good, you just push on a wall. Like you just push with all your strength on a wall and it
Mm.
gets that feeling of like tightness and like everything closing in. It gets it like out of your body and it you don't feel it anymore. So I do that.
I love to hear it, honestly. It's so important. Although the visual of you lugging
Oh my
glass
gosh.
is so funny.
Sometimes I'll have like a roller suitcase, so then it's like cute. But like I just had a garment bag yesterday, and I remember I like got home and like my muscle was feeling like big, like I had
Just
just
r-
worked out, and I was like, no, like that is not the vibe I want for this. So I just like took a minute, did a little fitting, tried on my outfits, got back into it, tousled the hair, and was like, all right, like
We're good to go.
go to sleep, and you'll be better tomorrow. So
Just you
yeah.
saying like, oh, that's just like not glamorous. Like,
Because
I
then I was
love.
like, what? To your point earlier, though, of doing everything yourself,
Mhm.
you know, if I was a model, I would just be going to set and like someone would
Mhm.
be like doing my hair, my makeup, the look. You have to really do it all yourself. And so,
Yeah.
like, there are those moments where I'm like, I was just like annoyed after. Like, I was just like, it was so heavy and I had shoes and the garment bag. And I was just like, this is, but it's like, I'm just being dramatic. That's part of it too.
No, but
Like, I'm
listen,
just like,
like
let's be dramatic.
if glamour is a value system for you, like what makes something glamorous? Because you're like, okay, lugging my own is not glamorous.
But you can make it glamorous. I early on in my drag career, I had a
Correct.
performance that was supposed to happen and it got canceled. And I remember being so distraught. And like leading up, I had been so stressed out. Like I was like, "Ah, this has to be perfect. I'm gonna do this." And then it ended up getting canceled. And I was texting a good friend of mine, and she said, the performance isn't only when you're on the stage. So like
Mm.
me lugging my clothes and like throwing a little hissy fit and like slamming it on the ground, like in the apartment, like that's glamorous. That's part of the
Yeah.
performance. Like I'm like, that's part of it.
I'm obsessed, honestly. I
You have to
listen,
be like Delulu. You have to romanticize everything. Like, you know what I mean? Like
everything.
a bird hits on you, you're like, oh, good luck. Like it's you just gotta like you gotta spin it. It's like, what do you want the storyline to be from the experience? Or is it gonna be sad and like whatever? Or is it gonna be like, yeah, look how fierce I look, running up the street with like all these clothes, all this designer clothes, all these furs and like
Mhm.
feathers and sequins. Like, oh my god, how like so it's like I just like to be dramatic.
Oh, listen, that's one thing that I was talking about earlier about bringing things back from like the past. One thing that
Sassy. We need to be sassy.
yes, and that's something that I've it's become like diluted in me is like when I
Hmm.
lived in Toronto and also, I was a very different human being. Just walking down the street, me in my like oversized coat with my huge glasses and my headphones and like everything was a runway to me no matter where and we all know this. We're
Yes.
queers, like that's the way of the world,
We
but
are the stars. Yes, we are the
yes, I
stars.
I am the main character.
When I was younger, every time I would leave my house, I would imagine it was like Y2K, like Lindsay Lohan era, Paris
Mm,
Hilton. Paparazzi
yes.
was like, it was reaching a pandemonium level. Every
Yes.
time I would leave my house in Pittsburgh when I was little, I would, in my mind, be like, the paparazzi are taking my photo right now. And I would just visualize that experience as I was walking to my beat up Mitsubishi like car that was like $1,000 that like would break down everywhere. But I was still like,
Yeah.
this is it. Like
Yeah.
I'm that. And so yeah, bring back sass, bring back delusion, bring it all back.
I love that, and I also live by that now more than ever. I'm like, I have to be delusional, especially when we're, working towards moving
Hmm.
forward in life. I have to be delusional in order for me to achieve what I can envision. Because if I'm not, I'm never going to do it. I have to be like,
Yeah.
so like, yeah, all the energy and work and nights. Like last night, I worked until midnight at my computer, revamping my website. I'm trying to like update it for, whatever. And I'm like, I don't care. I'm like, this will be worth it. All of this is worth it. Me getting up first thing in the morning to get ready to do this the next day. And then I have client meetings and all this. I'm like, all this work will be worth it. I don't care. It's gonna happen. And even, it will, because I'm manifesting it.
Yeah. Forcing yourself to do it before you get the like and the it's like
Yes.
because that's like that's the challenge.
Yeah.
You have to be able to do it and pull it out of yourself without any recognition,
Mm-hmm.
compensation. Like you
Mm-hmm.
just have to be able to like do it for yourself. And there's no like to the point of friends. Like yesterday I was like, oh my God, it's so exhausting. I have to like finish styling this wig and steam this look and blah blah blah. And I wish I had a team. And but then I'm like, no one's gonna like commit to it as much as you do
No.
and do it the way you like. So like you have to. Like one day there will be people to support you, be on your side and like help with that. But for the meantime, you have to get proof of concept and like do the heavy lifting.
My parents have owned their own business for 30 years, so that entrepreneurial energy I definitely have has been sparked from them. A few years ago I was like, like, do I expand in the sense of, do I start hiring somebody? I've been very slow to move in that direction because I've been a little bit apprehensive about bringing in someone else who is not necessarily going to treat the work in that same way that I have, because it's my
Yeah,
name is in the title of the company, like, and it's this thing that I've been building for 9 years. And my dad would say to me, he's like, no one, and he's gone through so many employees, like so many people
of
working for him, and he's like,
course.
no one ever gives the way that you do. And it's facts. You want to be able to trust who you can, but it's difficult.
I agree. I struggle with that as well. I have gotten to a point though where I pushed myself to think of like what are the things that take up my time that are just like a there's like a very simple process. So those things
Hmm.
like maybe identifying like what you can offload in that way, but like it's hard. But like I will probably never step too far back out of control. I don't know.
I can't either. I don't think I ever will. I think my name is in it. I'm so invested in it, and that's also, I think, important because
Yes. Well, quality control. I mean, there's like everyone's quantity right now. It's like quality needs to come back a little bit.
a little
So
bit, a lot.
a
I'm
lot.
sorry. There's
So the
so
only
much
way,
trash.
yeah, there is so much trash. There's so much slop. It's my like
So much
favorite word.
slop.
Yeah.
Okay, I gotta say, I'm obsessed with you. Like, I already was obsessed, but like, I'm really obsessed.
I look so good
You look
today.
so good. Tell me if I'm off in what I'm getting from the look. So I'm getting Nagel. I'm getting like big
Yes.
business. I'm getting
Yes.
like
Dynasty.
dynasty
Original
down.
Dynasty, not the remake.
I don't
Original
even, that
Dynasty.
doesn't even like register in my head. Like any of the remakes, I'm like, that's not a thing. I'm never gonna reference that. I think it's
I
so
know.
crazy. No, but I love it. And the
Nagel's a
hair,
great reference.
I mean, it's just this right here. Like, this is what I'm
Yeah,
getting from him.
the blush on the
I
temple.
love it. I love an overly blushed face. Like, I love it so
Yes.
much. It looks amazing.
Thanks.
And the
Yeah,
hair, what's the hair?
those are the references. The hair is like I'm thinking like old school like hair commercials. Like think of like, you know,
Don't get me
but
colored up
also like a
flat.
little bit I feel like it's giving a little like Julia Roberts.
100%, like, down. It's amazing.
Yeah,
I love
it
it.
looks so good.
I just love the way that you speak about your art, about culture, about your perception of the world. I've said this a couple times already. Once again, I'm a third party, doesn't really know you. I'm just kind of observing from the sidelines. But I feel like with the head that you have on your shoulders and your outlook on what it is to connect with through a creative lens, to me is I have all the like hope and trust that you will achieve what it is that you're meant to achieve in this life. Like genuinely, I think I love it. It's
Me
so
too.
engaging.
Me too.
Yeah.
Me too. Especially when I'm looking at this I'm looking at my reflection in the camera. I'm like, oh yeah,
Oh yeah. This is the moment.
yeah, like yeah.
And so, to anyone listening who would want to connect with you, follow you online, see what it is that you're putting out into the world, like where can they find you?
Venmo. Just kidding. Um, Citrine, it's at Citrine Cash everywhere, including
Hmm.
Venmo. But I'm really loving TikTok right now. Like, I'm truthfully not as active on Instagram. It kind of gives like a little bit, I don't know, like sometimes you just post things and you're like, does everyone hate me?
It's
Because, like,
graveyard.
it's like, it's just
Yeah.
like, it's suppressing everything. And so, TikTok, Citrine Cash, you'll see me in drag, out of drag, fashion, me just being goofy. I would say that was probably the biggest. Um, and who knows if the apps go away, citrinecash.com. That's probably the safest because I'll always be there. I might not be
Hmm.
on TikTok forever, but you can always find me at citrinecash.com.
I love it. And before I let you go, I normally would ask this before I have you plug your socials, but I ask this to every guest at the end of each episode. And I want to know, like, in your own words, of all the things we've talked about, of all the things that make up Citrine, what would you say is the most on brand thing about you?
It's hard because I want to say like what I think I am now, but then I'm
Hmm.
like, it's always changing. It's just like it's a mindset. It's glamorous. It's like, and it's not, I don't mean that about like money. It's just glamour.
Yes. Mm.
Like just be glamorous. However that manifests for you, whether it's like buying a candle for yourself at the end of the day, like whatever makes you feel luxurious and opulent, like that's the brand.
And to anybody listening, if you want to follow the podcast, you can find us on all of the streaming platforms. YouTube would love a subscription, as I was saying earlier. If you want to contact me for any creative, you can check me out at geographic.com. Citrine, I want to thank you once again for being part of the show. It means the world to me. I'm so appreciative and grateful that you took the time to do this. And to anyone listening, we'll talk to you soon. Bye.